Hey, it's James Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. If you want to make sure that you lose in family court, just be like everybody else. Just go through the normal routine, hire an attorney, don't do anything different, don't get on the offensive, don't call the mother out for being a mentally ill narcissist who abuses your kids or being suicidal or being violent. Don't do that. Do what everybody else does. Be a sheep in the sheepfold, following the lead of what everybody else always does. Or you can actually be brave and courageous and act like you care about your kids enough to fight for them. I don't follow the status quo. It's not fun. It's not comfortable. It's inconvenient. And sometimes it's scary. But I have to do what's best for my kid. And that's what I did in my own case. And I had the whole world against me. I didn't have anybody encouraging me like I'm encouraging you guys or lighting a fire under you. If I could do it, you could do it. So a lot of people will say, well, this is what everybody does, and this is how everybody does it, and this is what my lawyer says, and these people told me, and my brother's, sister's, cousin's hairdresser told me I need to do this. Why don't you follow your conscience? Like Joe Rogan talks about on his podcast, he has to fight his inner bitch when he wakes up in the morning and doesn't feel like working out. Every successful person in any area of life has to go and do something when they don't feel like doing it. Somebody gets in shape, you get up every day and exercise. Maybe 1 out of 10 days you really feel energetic, like you want to exercise, and you fight through the, like I said, your inner bitch or whatever. But if you want to be like everybody else, you're not going to make your mark. Let's take a look at some movie quotes that I actually like a lot, because courage to do this stuff and to do something different and to fight. Courage to do this is not the absence of fear. It's in the midst of fear, in the midst of an intimidating system or a biased system, going anyway. That's what any successful person does in life. That's what especially in a competition, when you're competing in business and you got to make a sales pitch, and you're nervous and you go in front of a group of people to try and make a sales pitch to win a contract with a corporation or something like that. Or in sports, in football, before they changed how they do the structure of the kickoffs now, I remember seeing a guy running full speed on a kickoff and making full speed collisions with folks. That's a really scary and intimidating thing. And one time I saw an NFL player saying that the guys on the kickoff team or kickoff return team, they're the ones who are scared, but they go anyway. You're going to get hit. You're going to get blasted. You're going to have some major collisions. You're going to get some owies and injuries, but you go anyway. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. Okay, so this is Brad Pitt in Troy. He's playing Achilles, a superhero. I didn't watch the movie, but check this out. Listen, he's about to go off to battle, and look at this little kid talking to him.
So you can't be killed.
I wouldn't be bothering with the shield then, would I?
The Thessalonian you're fighting, he's the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him.
That attorney is the biggest, baddest attorney I've ever seen. Everybody says they're big and bad. They're attacking me. People love to tell me that the opposing attorney is the worst human being in the world and they have the worst attorney. And you haven't watched 25,000 cases like I have. Nobody's attorney is worse than the opposing attorney I have. He used to intentionally lose cases on purpose so that his female clients would go broke and they would be forced to live with him. And then they'd work off their bill as a free legal secretary slave. He set up a slave operation. You got an attorney you're dealing with like that? No. He got away with calling opposing attorneys racial slurs. You got an attorney like that? Okay, welcome to the club. They all suck. But listen to what he says. This kid says, I wouldn't want to fight him like you do. People tell me, how did you do it? I can't believe that you did it. It's such an overwhelming fight. I did stuff different. I went to war despite what everybody told me to do. So look at what he says after the kid says, I wouldn't want to fight that big Thessalonian like you're going to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
So nobody's going to remember your name. You're not going to be any different than anybody else if you don't have bravery to go against what's intimidating. And what's crazy is the more you get on the offensive, the more you realize these attorneys aren't as bad as what I thought. Fear causes someone to flee when nobody's pursuing them. Fear causes you to build up a monster in your head that's not even there. Let's look at George Clooney in The Three Kings talk about courage.
You're scared, right?
Maybe.
The way this works is, you do the thing you're scared shitless of, and you get the courage after you do it, not before you do it.
That's the dumbass way to work. Should be the other way around.
I know. That's the way it works.
That's the way it works. You go for it despite your fears. While we're at it, we might as well talk about David Goggins. I posted this video. Let me just throw it in again here because it's so appropriate. You're about to go to court. You're scared. The system's biased. Your kids are at stake. Your kid's life is on the line. What are you going to do? Give in? Follow the lead? Trust the system? Jump through a whole bunch of hoops and then you have to jump through them again and the court ends up giving you nothing anyway? You go through this brainless exercise of family court? Listen to David Goggins.
So I got an email the other day. This guy's talking about he's struggling to get up. Wants to go to the gym and start grinding early in the morning. I said, when I was 24, I had the same condition, man. I had the same problem. So I started studying it. The more I studied it, I came with this crazy conclusion. I was just being a bitch. When I say bitch, it's not gender specific. It's a mindset. In Godlish, it means weak, soft, feel sorry for yourself. Get your ass up and lace them up. Stay hard.
There you go. There it is. There's no superheroes in this stuff as far as having no fear whatsoever. There's some people who say, oh, you had it easy. You got custody of your daughter when she was 7 months old. I went through hell to get that. I didn't just waltz into court. I went to court. The mother tried to get an anti-harassment order against me, temporary restraining order. Went in front of a judge. He said, go to family court and resolve this. I'm a criminal judge. I don't deal with this kind of stuff. Come back here in 2 weeks with a parenting plan. We come back in 2 weeks. The judge said, did you get a parenting plan? I said, it's not that easy, Your Honor. I have a hearing in another 2 weeks from here. We went through an argument for an hour. The judge was trying to make sure I had some kind of visitation, through a third party. That didn't happen because the mother wanted me to call her coworker sitting right next to her on a desk. And I'm not stupid like a lot of guys out there. And I didn't call her because I didn't want to look like I was violating the restraining order. There's guys out there who intentionally violate a restraining order, knowing that they're doing it because they miss their kids, because they got their feminine little labia tied up in a bunch, acting like a sissy woman. So I went 4 weeks without seeing my daughter, no court order. Then I went to family court, finally got a court hearing. Mother was withholding the child, then 2 weeks restraining order court, 2 weeks restraining order court. And he said, go to family court. This is going to drop off and don't come to my court again. Go deal with it in family court. So I dealt with it in family. I made her look stupid at those hearings. So it's kind of a victory, but I still didn't see my daughter. Then I went to family court. I got 0 visitation. Then the mother got an attorney, and then he said, you're looking really bad. Let him see the kid for a couple hours. If I would have had somebody with balls who told me, and somebody with half a brain told me, dude, just keep your kid. When she brings the kid on Friday, just keep the kid all weekend. Then I would have had weekends going into my next court order. But, so I went to court, got 0 visitation, appealed to a judge. The judge gave me 5 days a week, but wouldn't give me overnights because the child was only a few months old. Then I got the mother found in contempt. I got on the offensive and I kept going. It took a couple months, but I didn't quit on my kid like most of you guys are doing. You should be going for this right now. You should be doing something on your case right now. If you don't know what you're doing in your loss, you should be calling me right now. And you go whether you feel like it or not. Your kid is on the other side of that courtroom. If you go through all the motions and all trust the process, you're going to end up, that's an opportunity. See, these people are supposed to assume you act in the best interest of your child. You don't even make that argument. They make no findings that you're dangerous, but they restrict you as if you're dangerous while they're looking into it. Grow some balls and make the right arguments. If you don't know them, get a consult with me.